In Franz Kafka's The Trial, we lie to survive. But perhaps in young Werther, in order not to fall in a pit of despair, we must be honest with ourselves. No, we have no way of knowing how anyone feels about us in this world. So if we choose to love others, it must not be selfish, envy, or boast. It must not expect the same kind of love in return. For how could anyone love us back if we do not give them the freedom to choose?
But I'm not done, because it's so much more complicated than this. In the first video, it ended with talking about loving without expectation. But in our humanness, this would require constant non-everydayness, objectional thinking. Am I being patient, kind? Am I living without envy? What is amazing is Goethe's ability to capture the intense emotion of unrequited love that exists in a mode of everydayness. And so here is the dilemma. We as humans say we wish to strive to love a love that is patient, kind, and does not insist on its own way. And yet, how do we do this unless we detach ourselves from our emotions? For the very feeling of envy, anxiety, contempt emerges before we can even observe that we are feeling it. There is an invisibleness to these emotions until after they have occurred. How many times did you fall for someone when you were young and insist this union must be because if only they knew how much you longed for them? No one understands you in that moment. But as we move out of the everyday and into a mode that we observe the moment we were in, we have stepped out of that emotion. We saw Werther's life as he was going through the emotion of unrequited love. It was only at his moment before dying that there was observation void of emotion. Could this possibly have been Werther, who has finally been ripped from the grip of emotion to observe a situation as it was, without any bias contained within feelings? Thinking further, as feelings are invisible at the time of emergence, could this then point to the possibility that a pure love, one that does not insist on its own way, may exist outside of human understanding? There is no way to grasp this pure love. These emotions are already felt before we have the capability to observe we've felt them. What then? Is it truly possible to mold this despair if the ability to love selflessly is unreachable? Would Werther be destined to long for Lottie forever, or is there a way of escaping the madness? Is there a way to escape the dread knowing there is no possible way to know how the other feels about you that does not demand a complete sacrifice of our want in the name of pure love? Did Werther realize he was pushing a boulder up a mountain that would come straight back to him? Did Werther's continuous longing for Lottie set a barrier to observe in a way outside of his everydayness? Gosh, even young Werther is stuck in a Kafka story.